Hello and welcome to What Does This Data Say? I am Ajay Prakash. Now today I'm going to talk about why the BJP and the RSS cannot crack the South. Since 2014, the BJP RSS project has swept most of North and West India. Yet the south of the Vindhyas, it keeps running into a wall. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana, and often Andhra Pradesh, and only a brief spell in Karnataka under B.S. Yedurappa. Even in the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the BJP failed to break through in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Andhra Pradesh. Its vote share in Tamil Nadu was under 12% and it won no seats there. The Hindu versus Muslim pitch that works in parts of the north simply does not move southern voters. In fact, it often backfires. The south is not less Hindu, it lives its Hindu culture more deeply than the North Indian style of political Hindutva. Now, today we look at the layers of this southern firewall. The language pride, cultural Hinduism, a long history of Hindu Muslim coexistence, a century of social justice politics, strong local leaders, and a voter base that judges governments on welfare and not on war cries. If the BJP RSS really want to grow in the south, they will have to change themselves more than they try to change the south. In most of South, Hinduism is experienced as a lived tradition. Local deities such as Ayyappa, Murugan, Mariamman, century-old temple rituals, Bhakti-era saints like Alvas, Nayanmars in Tamil Nadu or the Haridasas in Karnataka. It is not viewed as a fortress under siege. The north-centric Hindutva performance, saffron rallies, angry speeches, temple mosque binaries feel like an imported spectacle. Many South Indians find it as odds with their own inclusive religious practice. In South, religion is a practice. In the North, Hindutva pitch, it's often a performance. The memory of anti-Hindi imposition agitation is part of the political DNA in Tamil Nadu and a strong sentiment in the other Dravidian language states. The first such protests date back to 1937-39 against Rajaji's compulsory Hindi policy, and the major agitations in 1965 reshaped Tamil Nadu politics. Campaigns that overuse Hindi or push one nation, one language slogan triggers an anti-Delhi reflex. People expect national leaders to respect their language and their culture. Every time Delhi pushes a one nation, one language mood, the South hears a siren to mobilize. The Dravidian movement in Tamil Nadu, the left Congress coalition pattern in Kerala, and welfare driven politics in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Karnataka built an electorate that votes on schools, health, food security, women's empowerment, and subsidies. These states often outperform national averages. The literacy rate, according to the 2011 census, Kerala was 94%, Tamil Nadu 80%, Andhra 67%. The national average at that time was 73%. Infant mortality rate, Kerala is 4 per thousand, Tamil Nadu 17 per thousand. The national average was 32 per thousand. And the public distribution and noon meal schemes in Tamil Nadu are models of reach and efficiency. When governance delivers, voters see less need to cling to identity based politics. If the midday meal is on time, a TV sermon is not going to swing the vote. One reason of the Hindu-Muslim binary feels artificial in the South is that for over 1,000 years, the two communities have largely lived, worked, and often ruled together. There is historical evidence of this. The Vijayanagar Empire from 14th to 16th centuries relied heavily on Muslim cavalrymen and artillery experts. The Bahmani, Bijapur, and Golconda sultanates employed Hindu commanders, zamindars, and financiers. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan in Mysore retained many Hindu ministers and temple trustees. This pattern of cooperation in armies, courts, and finance was the norm rather than the exception. The Qutb Shahi rulers of Golconda granted land and revenue to the Sri Sailam and Tirupati temples. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan issued endowments to several Karnataka temples, including the Sringeri Mutt. The Nizam of Hyderabad, noted for philanthropy across communities, regularly sent donations to Golden Temple in Amritsar to support its maintenance and the community kitchen, the langars. Hindu zamindars and merchants in Vijayanagar period and later under the Maratha rule contributed to building or upkeep of mosques and Sufi shrines. The Bhakti Sufi cross pollination shaped much of southern devotional music, poetry, and dance traditions. While interfaith marriages were limited, daily coexistence was normal. Folk festivals, village fairs, and urs at Sufi dargahs often drew both communities. Most medieval conflicts in the south were dynastic struggles, not mass communal confrontation. The deep south saw little of the partition era violence that scarred northwest India, with the exception of the state of Hyderabad. For most of the southern history, Hindus and Muslims were not enemies in faith, they were neighbors, traders, patrons of each other's shrines, sometimes comrades in arms. Now, let's look at the local leaders and the party ecosystems. In Tamil Nadu, DMK, AIDMK rooted in Dravidian social justice compact. In Kerala, we have a bipolar LDF and UDF. BJP remains under 15% of vote share. In Telangana, the KCR-led TRS BRS with state pride and welfare focus. In Andhra Pradesh, we have Chandrababu Naidu and Jagan Mohan Reddy dominate with a mix of welfare and caste community blocs. In Karnataka, one of the serious BJP stronghold owed much to Yedurappa's Lingayat base. Once sidelined, the party's grip weakened in the 2023 assembly election. BJP's seat count fell from 104 to 66. Where the BJP wins in the south, it wins as a local party, not as a northern export. Now, a little bit of discussion about the Hindu Muslim binary which underperforms in the south. Higher literacy, urbanization, and welfare focused politics reduce the appetite for permanent polarization. Muslim and Christian communities in the south are long integrated mercantile and professional groups. Antagonizing them threatens local economies. Temple mosque flashpoints rarely outbid concerns about jobs, prices, education, and healthcare. Southern politics treats religion as a private virtue and governance as a public contract. A look at the media ecosystem and the narrative resistance. There is a strong regional TV channel presence, newspapers, and YouTube creators who limit the reach of North centric propaganda. A lively tradition of satire in Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada cinema often pushes back against the moral policing drive. You can't headline manage a religion that answers back to you in five classical language and not a single one is known to you. You in fact come to the south and stand there with a translator. You can't even speak one single word in the local language. Some listeners might ask, if the southern firewall is so strong, how did the BJP succeed in Karnataka? Or why do temple issues like sometimes become headlines? So let's take a closer look. First, in Karnataka, the BJP's rise there was less about a broad Hindutva wave and more about one leader's local base, B.S. Yedurappa. He brought with him the loyalty of influential Lingayat community and a strong state level organization. When he was sidelined by the central leadership, the party's hold weakened. In the 2023 assembly, BJP seats fell from 104 to 66. That tells us the Karnataka story was driven by a regional leader, not by the national Hindutva template. Now, second, temple related debates. Yes, the question around the management of famous temples, like control of temple trust or how revenues are spent, do come up. But these are administrative and legal issues, not campaigns against any religious community. The tone is usually about governance and transparency, and not about pitting Hindus against Muslims. Third, the conversion question. Said, look at the question of conversions in the south. Where conversions to other faiths happen in the south, they have historically been tied to access to education, healthcare, or social mobility, especially among marginalized groups, rather than driven by a large scale communal conflict. The issue is often used in speeches, but on the ground, it has not led to sustained polarization. In short, when Southern voters weigh their options, the deciding factor is still who will improve my road, who will improve my school, will I get a job? Identity driven appeals rarely decide the outcome once the voters focus on these day to day questions. When the question is who fixes my road and my school, ideology usually loses the by election. The southern voter is not anti-Hindu. They simply refuse to trade away language welfare, the dignity for homogenized divisive nationalism. BJP RSS have now two choices. Keep trying to export a northern template and keep failing, or localize leadership, respect languages, and deliver on the governance front. The story of the South is a reminder that pluralism plus performance beats polarization. So, to conclude, in the coming episode, I will bring the hard numbers, welfare scores versus national averages, communal incident trend, and vote share data since 2014. You tell us which data set you would like to be unpacked first and share this podcast if you believe that India's unity comes from its diversity. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next episode. Till then, goodbye.